So we're taking up XAT questions today. And in fact, I wanted to name the topic instead of best of XAT. I want to name it as, XAT Quant is not as difficult as it is perceived to be. So a lot of people have this misconception that XAT Quant is going to be very difficult and, you can barely solve questions and all. But very frankly, XAT Quant is not as difficult as it seems to be. And hence, let's be that much more comfortable with XAT Quant. And let's start with today's session. So I'll be taking up questions from previous year's XAT papers. Okay, let's start with the first question. I think this is a question from XAT 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Question on time and work. Pretty decent question. Let's read the question, what have they said. So A, B, C, D can finish a task in 10, 12, 15, and 18 days respectively. Standard question of how much time does each person take. They can either choose to work or remain absent on a particular day. If 50% of the total work gets completed after 3 days. So in 3 days, if I'm able to finish 50% of the work, which of the following options is possible? So what actually happened in those 3 days? Who worked, who remained absent, and so on. So let's start with the regular method of finding total work. What will be your total work, the LCM of all these numbers? Now, when you're doing LCM, every time you don't need to waste your time doing a very regular method of LCM. Start learning to do things smartly. So for example, if I'm looking at 10 and 15, LCM of 10 and 15 is 30. So I just take the 30 here. Now, what is LCM of 30 and 12? 60. So LCM is 60 now. 60 and 18, which means there is a 6 common, no problem. So I need a 3 more. So that is 180. So total work, I will take it as 180 is my total work. Who's doing how much work per day? So A takes 10 days to do the work, which means A is doing 18 units of work. B is doing 180 divided by 12, 15 units of work. This is doing 12 units of work, and this one is doing 10 units of work. In fact, and now what do we know? In 3 days, 90 units is done. Why 90? Because they've said half the work gets done in 3 days. Okay. They've told us half the work gets done in 3 days. So 90 units of work is done in 3 days. Now, this is where you smartly do the question instead of randomly going through every option, wasting a lot of time. You look for the smartest option. Now, if you look at this, this is an even number, this is an even number, this is an even number. And I want my final answer to be an even number, which means my option will have to have B at least for 2 days, or maybe exactly for 2 days. So I will choose an option which has B for 2 days. The first option has all of them for 2 days. Let's do that orally. 18 plus 12 is 30. 30 plus 10 is 40. 40 plus 15 is 55. Double of 55 is 110. So that's not my answer. Look for any other option which has B for 2 days. So here B is for 1 day. So not my answer. A and C for 2 days and B for all 3 days. Not my answer, because 3 days B will again become odd. Again, here B has worked for 3 days. Not my answer. Most probably fifth option is my answer, but I will still just check it. A and C work for 1 day each. That means 18 for A, 12 for C. B works for 2 days. So 15 2s are 30. And D works for all 3 days. That will be 10 3s are 30. So this is 30, 30, 30, 90 work is done. Fifth option is my answer. Important was most of y'all would have gone option by option and checked every option and wasted a lot of time. Look for these things. There is always that smart approach. Something or the other is there in that approach, which you can do the question very smartly. I hope people got that. Right? Let's go ahead. I've got roughly around 20, 23 questions. And depending on how people react on the chat, I will talk about whether I'll go a little bit slowly or I'll go a little bit fast. Right? So let's look at the second question. The price of a product is P. a shopkeeper raises it by X% and then offers a discount of Y%. And the discounted price again becomes P. So after increasing the price, after decreasing it by price, it comes down back to P. Y is the difference between X and Y. Let's first take this part. If Y is the difference between X and Y, it simply means 2Y is X or X is double of Y. Right? Y is the difference between X and Y. So 2Y is X or X is double of Y. Now, read the question very carefully. We have increased by X% and then decreased by Y%. And they have told us to find X. And the first value is exactly double of the second value. Basically, if you remember your concepts well, this is an offset concept. This is an offset concept. You are increasing by something and decreasing by some other percentage so that it becomes offset. So just to give you a small example, what it means exactly. Just leave this question for a second. Okay, I'm not talking about this question. Suppose the price of a product is 100 rupees. If you increase by 25%, so after increment, the new price will become 125, 25%. If you now decrease this by 20%, how much is 20%? 1 by 5. So if you decrease this by 20%, you'll have to decrease it by 1 by 5. 1 by 5 of 125 is 25. So it will again go back to 100. So an increase of 25% and a decrease of 20% is giving me the original price again. But it is not satisfying this condition. So I also need to satisfy this condition. Right? It is not satisfying. So now you just need to think a little bit smartly. Is there any number which you can think where, double will work? If you're not able to think, obviously there's a regular method which I can show you. Okay. But options would have been very good to use. We just checked 25 will not be okay. 20 and 10 will definitely not be okay because it will become 120. And then if you decrease by 10, it will decrease by 12 rupees. So it will not come out to be again that. That way you can keep checking options and you will realize 100 is the answer. But you should have realized 100 directly. That is important. Well, for the ones who don't understand this and say for a second, don't want to use options also and want to use a regular approach. Do we know successive percentage change? A plus B plus AB by 100. We all know successive percentage change. So if I increase by X and decrease by Y, which means Y is negative, then the product will also be negative. And I'm getting a net impact of 0. I'm getting a net impact of 0, which means X minus Y into X minus Y is equal to XY upon 100. And you can replace X with double of Y. Or you can replace Y with half of X, but it's easier to replace with double. So I will replace X with double of Y. So it will become 2Y minus Y over here, which will become Y. This will be 2Y into Y, which will become 2Y square upon 100. Y will cut. 2Y upon 100 is equal to 1. 100 is 2Y, Y is 50. If Y is 50, obviously X is 100, and that is why fourth option is the answer. So you can start with 100 rupees and keep doing percentage change, which is very logical. You can take every option and try it. The only thing you had to realize was this, that 2Y was X. I think that was very easy. So both the questions which I have solved up till now, both are very, very clearly, definitely, I would say level A type of questions, not really difficult at all up till now. We might come across one or two slightly lengthy questions, the first one being here. Okay, I'm giving you all like maybe 10 seconds to read the question. Just read the question for 10 seconds and then I'll come to it. Right? Can I start now? Welcome, Aditya. Okay. A mixture comprises of water and liquids A and B. The volume of water is 1/3 of the total mixture, and the volume of liquid A and B are in the ratio 5:3. To remove the water, the mixture is passed through a porous medium which completely absorbs water but also absorbs some part of liquid A. Altogether, this porous medium absorbs 200 ml. If the ratio of the volume of the liquid A and B in the residual concentrated mixture becomes 7:9, then the volume of the water absorbed by a porous medium is what? Now, again, what do most of y'all do? Once again, just once again. Just give me a second. Okay, what do most of y'all do? Y'all on the best side would have started with 3x. Okay, let me show. So let's say if you started with 3x, how to keep improvising at every step? Because 1/3 is water, you all started with 3x. So then you say water is 1x. So leftover is 2x. Now dividing 2x in the ratio 5:3 is a slightly difficult task. What should have been this number such that division would have been easy? 8x. If it was 8x, it would have been so easy, no? I would have just taken 5 and 3. So do it, no? Who's stopping you? Just multiply everything by 4. That means instead of starting with 3x, I'm starting with 12x. If I'm starting with 12x, this 1/3 will become 4x. Leftover will become 8x. And therefore, A and B becomes 5x and 3x. Right? Now what? The full 4x is so definitely removed, that I know. Right? And some part of 5x is also removed. And the new ratio becomes 7:9. We know totally 200 ml has been removed, out of which everything is not 4x is water, which is removed definitely. And the remaining, so how much is A? If I'm removing 200, out of which 4x is water, what is balance? 200 minus 4x. So A becomes 5x, out of which I will remove 200 minus 4x. B will remain as it is, and this will become 7/9. You can solve this. Pathetic method. I would not like this method. 3 ones are 3 threes are. You can still finish it off. 5x plus 4x is 9x. 9x minus 200 into 3 is equal to 7x. 27 minus 7. 20x is equal to 200. X is 10. Read very carefully for what have they asked for. Find the volume of water. So water was absorbed was 4x. Volume of water was 4x. Well, I have also gone wrong with this method. We'll have to check what mistake. No, this is 600. 200 threes are 600. Yeah, I found my mistake. So x is 30. X is 30. And therefore 4x was the volume of water absorbed. Answer is 120. And as I said, it's a bad method. Still not as bad as some of y'all would have made it. Right? Now, let's think a little bit differently. I'm going to clear this off from the screen. Obviously, you all can go later and see both the methods. So, let's start backwards. At the end, how much is A and B? 7 and 9. So, do you agree that B remains constant throughout the question? B remains constant throughout the question. That is not changing, only B is not removed. So, initially, there was water, there was A, and there was B. Now I know B is 9. At that time, A and B were in the ratio 5:3. At that time, A and B were in the ratio 5:3, which means 5:3. So if B is 9, 5:3. So A would become 15. A would become 15. Now pay attention carefully. Water was 1/3 of the total. Water was 1/3 of the total, which means A plus B was 2/3. So 24 is 2/3. If 24 is 2/3 of total, what is 1/3 of total? Half of that. If 2/3 is 24, 1/3 will be 12. So I got initially water is 12, 15, and 9. Right? Initially. Water A and B. Water A and B. B remained 9. A became 7. So how much of A was removed? How much of A was removed? 8 of A was removed. 8. And water became 0. Which means what all was removed? 12 of water was removed. And 8 of A was removed. 20 was removed. But they are saying that is 200. So the 20 is corresponding to 200. So this 12 will correspond to how much? If 20 corresponds to 200, how much is 12 going to correspond to? 120. And that's the method I would want you all to use. Just let me know how did you like the second method. Okay, I'm going ahead. Hope you all have understood this. Okay. Now, when you look at this question, everybody starts thinking three-dimensional. There is a lighthouse, and then there is North Bay, there is one boat, and there is another boat at the east. And so people, first of all, whenever there is three-dimensional figure, itself people start feeling a little bit, jittery. And they would have kind of left it. But it was such an easy sum. If you make the same question into a two different diagrams, it will become so easy. Let's assume this is my lighthouse. And this is the first boat. To the north, let's call that boat also N. Just because on my diagram, if I made north here, the world geography is not going to change. So don't worry. The lighthouse is 300 meters tall. So we can easily find this distance. If this is north, and the angle was given as 30 degrees. So obviously, simple usage of 30, 60, 90 theorem. So couple of places today I will be using this, that 30, 60, 90 theorem may, lot of people know their properties well, that side opposite 30 is half of hypotenuse and so on, so on. But people don't forget this formula, that side opposite to 60 degrees is √3 times side opposite to 30, which I think is actually easier. Side opposite to 60 degrees is √3 times side opposite to 30. This is the easier one. Which means if this is 300, this is directly 300 √3. Okay. Let's make a new diagram for east. Right. So suppose if this is the lighthouse and east is over here. Right. This is still 300 and this is 45 degrees. So this will be 300 because it will be an isosceles triangle, 45, 45, 90. That means the other boat, which is at E, is at a distance of 300. Now, just think of the base of the lighthouse. This is the base of the lighthouse. This is north, and this is east. Now, the top of the lighthouse does not matter. So, the one which was at north is at 300 √3. And we know north and east have to be perpendicular to each other. And this is at 300. So I just need to use Pythagoras theorem again. And the last step is usage of Pythagoras theorem. So that whole logic that, oh, it's a three-dimensional figure, I barely used it. Yes, in my thought process, I have the three-dimensional figure. But I don't have to make use of it. And then once you use Pythagoras over here, you will get 600 feet, which is the fourth option. I hope you all understood. And next time, and XAT is very, well known to make these heights and distances के साथ using a 3-dimensional figure. Otherwise, for all those who are science students, this is the lighthouse. One is here and the other is here, something like this. This angle is also 90 and this angle is also 90, something like that, you know. This is also 90 and this is also 90, something like that. But I don't want to do this. It's a pain unnecessary. Right? Let's go ahead. Nice question, slightly difficult question. Pay attention very carefully. The number of boys in a school was 30 more than the number of girls. So boys are... Yeah, Deepak, at the end you could use 30, 60, 90 again also. Doesn't matter. So number of boys in a school were 30 more than the number of girls. So I'm not starting the sum. I'll read the sum more and then I'll discuss it. Subsequently, a few more girls joined the same school. Consequently, the ratio of the boys and girls became 3:5. And find the minimum number of girls who joined subsequently. So let's look at two approaches for this question. Number of boys was 30 more than girls. So let's start with, say, let the girls were X. So boys were X plus 30. Let's say Y girls joined. Y girls joined. So new number of girls became X plus Y. And we want to find Y. Remember that in the question, I want to find Y. So now boys to girls is 3:5. So boys remained X plus 30. Girls became X plus Y. And this ratio is 3:5. You can cross multiply and get a relationship over here. So you'll get a 5x plus 150 is equal to 3x plus 3y. So you'll get a 2x plus 150 divided by 3 is y. So if I continue with this method here, what do I get y as? Y is 2/3 of x plus 50. Now, can x be 0? No, x cannot be 0 because there were some girls at least. So minimum value for x will have to be 3. Because if I don't take x as 3, this will be a fraction. That will be a problem. So minimum value for x will have to be 3. So if I minimize x, if minimum value of x is 3, therefore minimum value of y will be how much? Put x as 3 and 52. So answer is 52, which is the third option. I will try and show one more approach. First, just see whether you've got this. I'm just going to give you again 10 seconds to go through it. I did a very straightforward approach, nothing very smart. At the end, because I wanted to minimize y, I just wrote y in terms of x properly. I just wrote y in terms of x properly, and then I did the, I put minimum possible value for x, which gave me the minimum possible value for y. Everybody's clear with this method? Let's look at one more approach for this. Right? So now, if I use another approach, at the end, the number of boys is to girls was 3:5. At the end, the number of boys to girls were 3:5. So I say at the end, let the boys be 3x and girls be 5x. At the end, let the boys be 3x and let the girls be 5x. Again, suppose Y girls had joined, which means before joining, how many girls were there? Before joining, the number of girls were 5x minus Y. Well, boys were still 3x only, no? Right? And what do I get now? I know at that time, the difference was 30. Boys were more than the girls by 30. So 3x minus bracket 5x minus y was 30. Right? So what will I get? I'll get a negative 2x minus plus y is equal to 30. So y is 30 plus 2x. Y is 30 plus 2x. Now, again, what is the minimum value for x I can take here? At the end, think logically. 3x has to be more than 30. 3x has to be greater than 30. So x has to be greater than 10. Because boys were 30 more than girls. So 3x has to be greater than 30. So x has to be greater than 10. So minimum value I can take for x is 11. If you take x as 11, you get the same answer, 52, which is the third option. So are both the methods clear? Minimum value for x had to be 11 because 3x had to be greater than 30 and x had to be. Yes, there can be some argument on why can number of girls initially not be 0. Because they've said a few more girls joined, which means there were some girls already. That language you have to understand, there was at least one girl earlier. That way. Is it clear? Okay, going to the next question. Okay, a pretty straightforward geometry question. Yes, you needed to know properties. See, understand when you come to geometry, my logic is always very simple. If there's a property involved, which I can use, it is straightforward. Ramesh and Reena are playing with the triangle ABC. Ramesh draws a line that bisects angle BAC. This line cuts BC at D. So let's just draw a diagram. There's a triangle ABC and angle BAC is bisected, cutting BC at D. Reena then extends AD, which I've already done, to a point P. So this is point P. In response, Ramesh joins B and P. So this is joined now. B and P is joined. Reena then announces that BD bisects angle PBA. What a surprise. That means this angle and this angle is also equal. Together, Ramesh and Reena find that BD is 6, AC is 9, DC is 5, BP is 8, and DP is 5. Too many things given for. You know, I love such sums, but so much is given. How long is AP? So in short, I need to find AD. Let's call it as X. Okay. 2 angle bisectors are given. Let's use the angle bisector property 2 times. First time in triangle ABC. First time in triangle ABC with AD as the angle bisector. So I hope everybody remembers the angle bisector property. It's AB upon AC is BD upon DC, which is AB, I don't know. Not Apollonius, sorry boss. Anish, not Apollonius. AB upon 9. Apollonius is used when there is a median. Is 6 upon 5. Therefore, AB is 54 upon 5. Leave it as it is. You can write 10.8, but I don't think there's a need. I got AB. Let's use angle bisector theorem one more time. In triangle ABP. Second time I'm using angle bisector theorem in triangle ABP with BD as the angle bisector. So I will get what? BA upon BP. BA upon BP is AD upon DP. AD is what I want to find. Right? BA I already have got 54 upon 5. Divide by BP, which is 8, is equal to AD, which I want to find X upon AD, which is 5. So 54 upon 5 multiply by 5 divide by 8 is X. 5 cut. 2 4s are 2, 27s are 27 upon 4 is X. 27 upon 4 is something 0.75, right? Yeah, there are two options with 0.75. So I'm just going to calculate exactly. It's more than 6. 6.75 is X, which means I want to find AP plus 5. X plus 5 is the answer. So AP is 11.75. Simple usage of angle bisector theorem 2 times. At a XAT level or even any other exam level, very frankly, this should be a level A question. Right? You cannot be making mistakes, or you cannot say that you didn't think of the angle bisector theorem. It's like in your face. They have literally told you, please use angle bisector theorem. Right? Going ahead. Small typing error. Some members of a social service organization in Kolkata decided to prepare 2,400 laddus to give to children in various orphanages and slums in the city during Durga Puja. The plan is that each of them makes the same number of laddus. However, on laddu making day, 10 members were absent. Thus, remaining members make 12 laddus more than earlier decided. Let's start. Simple school day sum. If you go and ask your nephew, niece, cousin, younger brother, younger sister, who's in the 9th or the 10th, they will jump upon this question. Yes, their method will be this, which I'm showing first. They will say, let the number of members be X and let the number of laddus they were going to make per person be Y equal to 2,400. Equation number 1. So X members were going to be there and they were going to make Y laddus per person, which is equal to 2,400. But on the day of laddu making, 10 members were absent. So X minus 10 members came, and because of which everybody had to make 12 laddus more, Y plus 12. And this was also equal to 2,400. So you would open this bracket up, you will get XY plus 12X minus 10Y minus 120 is 2,400. From the earlier equation, I know XY is 2,400. So XY 2,400, 2,400 cuts. Divide by 2, you'll get 6X minus 5Y is equal to 120. Sorry, is equal to 60. You have divided by 2. And then you write Y is equal to 2,400 upon X. And you make a quadratic equation and solve. Right? Now, do you really want to do this? Is my question. Definitely no. Yes, you can still write this. I have no problem with this, but you will never do this. After this step, learn to use options. What all am I looking for? Look very carefully. I'll just say it. I'm not going to write it down. Just listen carefully. X has to be a factor of 2,400. So according to the options, X cannot be 90. 90 is not a factor of 2,400. So first option is gone. Okay, and let's just look at the way I'm eliminating options. X has to be a factor of 2,400. So X cannot be 90. Because they've asked for X, right? Now, not only does X have to be a factor of 2,400, even X minus 10 has to be a factor of 2,400. So first option, 100 minus 10 is 90. Again, that is not possible. So 100 is also not an answer. Because even 90 has to be a factor. Not only X, but even X minus 10. 24 is not my answer. 24 minus 10 is 14. 14 is not a factor. So that is also not my answer. Remaining both the options as of now are possible. Right? So let's check option 2. If X is 50, Y will be 48. Because 50 multiplied by what number is 2,400? So that will be 48. Okay. If this becomes 40, this will become. By the way, they had asked for X was the new. They've asked for how many members actually make the laddu. So they had asked for this value. So my bad. This is eliminated because of 110. And this is eliminated because of 34. 100 plus 10 And this is eliminated because of 34. So the option is x minus 10 actually. So 40 and this becomes how much? 60. Does it tally? Yes. When x was 50, y was 48. When x is 40, y is 60. It is increasing exactly by 12, which means this is correct. But they've asked for this value. And therefore answer is the fifth option, not the second option. Lot of people, even Naveen said the same thing, that he made an error, that he marked the answer as the second option. The answer is the fifth option because they've asked for how many members make laddus now. Okay, so that is why you have to be careful. This is where, you really don't want to lose marks. Just imagine doing everything right, getting that question right, and getting a negative score. It's so bad. Like you could have got 1/4 mark extra. Bad, but. Okay. One very straightforward question, again, can be very, very smartly done. Sheila purchases 2 varieties of apples, A and B, for a total price of rupees 2,800. The weight of A and B and the ratio of 5:8, but the cost of A is 20% more than that of B. Okay. So Sheila sells A and B with 15% and 10% profit respectively. What is the overall profit in rupees? Let's think very, very smartly. Forget everything else and come only here. Profit on A is 15% and profit on B is 10%. That means my final profit will definitely be between 10 and 15. Cost price is 2,800. How much is 10? All this you don't write. This I'm writing only just to show you. 10% of 2,800 is 280. And 15% of 2,800 is 420. So can I say definitely my answer has to be between these two numbers? So 240 is out, 480 is out, and 600 is out. By doing literally nothing, 3 options got eliminated. Now, I just need to know which quantity is more. Okay. What if they both were equal? With quantity and cost, milake, if they both were equal, then it would have been exactly 12.5%. How much would be 12.5% of 2,800? It would be 350. Exactly in the middle of these two. Right? 350 or 340, I don't know. Just check. I think 340. No, not 340. 12.5% is 1/8. 1/8 of 2,800. 8 3s are 24, 40, 350s. Right? 350 is right. So 12.5% of 2,800 is 350. Now, listen to this very carefully. Ratio of the weight of A and B was 5:8. What about their cost price? Cost of A was 20% more than that of B, which means if B was 5, A was 6. That means the total cost for A was 30 when B was 40. So ratio of A to B was 3:4. So A was less than B. The impact of A was less. If impact of A was less, because A was at 15% and B was at 10%, answer will be less than 12.5. Answer will be less than 12.5, which is the second option. Fifth option is also gone. This is how you just do it smartly. If B was more, if the impact of B was, if the impact of A was more, the answer would have been more than 350 and whatever option. Obviously, you can do a regular approach also to this question. What could be a regular approach? What can be a regular approach? Let's think. Weights of A and B are 5:8. So let that be 5 kg and 8 kg. Cost of A is 20% more than B. So let that be 5 and 6. So total cost of A is 30, B is 40, 3:4. Or 30 and 40 also, doesn't matter. right? On A, there's a profit of, now divide 3:4, divide 2,800 in the ratio 3:4. So A was 3/7 of 2,800, which will be 1,200. And B was 4/7 of 2,800, which is 1,600. On this, there's a profit of 15%. 15% of 1,200. And on this, there's a profit of 10%. 10% of 1,600. This is 180 rupees. This is 160 rupees. Answer is 340, which is the second option. Regular approach. But again, you need to be smart and you need to use better approaches. Let's look at the next one. Again, a very typically XAT question. Fatima found that the profit earned by Bala Dosa stall today is a 3-digit number. She noticed that the middle digit is half of the leftmost digit, while the rightmost digit is 3 times the middle digit. That means that the middle digit is A, the leftmost digit is 2A, and this is 3A. Right? Means the number is in this form. Over here A, here 2A, and here 3A. Right? She also noticed, she then randomly interchanged. Now, this is the word which made the whole difference in the question. This is what made the question slightly difficult. She randomly interchanged the digits and obtained a different number. This number was more than the original number by 198. Now, first understand, whatever be this number, how can the new number become more? And that also by 198. The new number will become more only if this comes here. Right? Yeah, it can become more even by this coming here, but it will not become more by 198. And if you remember your rule of 99 correctly, that is the digits are interchanged. The difference will always be a multiple of 99. Question asks is what was the middle digit of the profit amount? Now, obviously, it can't be 6. That was such a stupid option. It can't be 8. They were asking for the middle digit, right? How can the middle digit be such a big number? So middle digit is 1 or 2. Just do trial and error. If the middle digit was 1, this is 213. If you add 198 to this number, will it give you an interchange number from here only? So if you add 198, what will you get? 11, 1, 10, 11, 1, 4. No, it's not interchange from this. So that's not my answer. Let's check it with 2. What if it was 2 in the middle? So this became 426 plus 198 became 14, 12, 1, 624. Yes, it is exactly interchanged. So 426 became 624. Answer is the third option. Straightforward question. Nothing very difficult. Means even if you did all the trial and error, you would have to realize that the sum was very, very straight. Okay? Let's go ahead. What is the first feeling everybody gets when they look at the next question? Oh God, what are they asking us? There is arithmetic progression, then there is some kind of inequalities. Just to make it clear, y is greater than x and x is greater than z. Okay, so y is bigger than x. So x is here, y is here, and z is somewhere here. First arithmetic progression is this. So if y is greater than x, can I say this is an increasing AP? Can I say it's an increasing arithmetic progression? And if it is an increasing arithmetic progression, A1 minus A2 will be a negative value. It's increasing, no? So A2 is bigger than A1. So A1 minus A2 will be a negative value. While if X is greater than Z, this is a decreasing arithmetic progression. This is a decreasing arithmetic progression. And if it's a decreasing arithmetic progression, I can say B1 minus B2 is positive. B1 minus B2 is positive. Numerator is negative. Denominator is positive. So what will be my final answer? Negative divided by positive will be negative. Hence the answer, there's only one option. Answer is minus 3. Is that clear? You could take some values and try. There was no problem. You wanted y to be greater than x. So you could have taken x as say 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. And here you could have taken 4, 3, 2. You could have taken random values. So this is A1, A2. This is B1, B2. And you could have just rendered the values also and tried. And you will still get the answer very, very easily. But you want a negative answer. Then don't worry about the number. The number could be anything. In my case, I will get a number as minus 1. The example which I have taken, I'll get an answer as minus 1. Okay? But it doesn't matter. Answer had to be negative. That's the only possible answer. Let's go ahead further. Logs. I've been talking about logs so many times in CAT, in XAT. People somehow don't pay attention to that. Log m to the base 4 plus log n to the base 4 is log m plus n to the base 2, where m and n are positive real numbers, in which of the following must be true. Left side can become what? According to the property, it can become log mn log mn to the base 4, while this will become log m plus n to the base 2. So I can write this as log mn upon log 4, which is nothing but 2 log 2. Right? And I can write this as log m plus n upon log 2. Log 2 cut. Log mn is equal to 2 log m plus n. 2 will go on top. Log mn is equal to log m plus n the whole square. Now I can get rid of the logs on both sides. So I have reached to this step. Mn is m plus n the whole square. Right? Now, what have they told us? Which of the following must be true? Let's expand a little bit. So if I write mn is equal to m square plus 2mn plus n square, I'll get 0 is m square plus 2mn plus n square. They have told us m and n both are positive real numbers. Positive. If they both are positive, then this answer cannot be what? If you think carefully, this will become mn, not 2mn, sorry. This will be mn. M square plus mn plus n square. None of the options will satisfy. Because if this is a positive number, this is a positive number, and this is a positive number, how can the answer come 0? M square, m is positive, so m square is positive. Mn both are positive, so mn is positive. N square is positive. Positive plus positive plus positive cannot be 0. Hence, the answer is the second option. Yes, it takes a little bit guts to mark such an option. I know it can be a little bit difficult, but that's the whole answer. Okay, next question also is pretty interesting. Mr. Jose buys some eggs. After bringing the eggs home, he finds 2 of them rotten. So whatever he bought, out of that 2, he subtracted and throws them away. Of the remaining eggs, he puts 5/9 in his fridge. So whatever was remaining, he put 5/9 in the fridge. And the remaining he brings to the mother's house. Which means, do I agree that mother's house he brings 4/9 of the remaining? So there was this number total, out of which he throws 2. 5/9 of this he keeps in fridge. 4/9 of this he takes to mother's house. Right? She cooks 2 eggs and puts the rest in a fridge. So she out of this cooks 2 eggs. 4/9 of t minus 2 minus 2 and puts the remaining in the fridge. If a fridge cannot hold more than 5 eggs, that means this number has to be less than or equal to 5. What is the maximum possible number of eggs Mr. Jose bought? Now, you can do all this. And if you solve this, you will get the answer also. You want to find t. Let's try by this method. Actually, we'll try by this method afterwards. Otherwise, once you have the answer, it will not be fun. Let's start thinking a little bit. You cannot make a fraction of an egg, right? So do you agree that this number, which I have over here, t minus 2, has to be a multiple of 9? T minus 2 has to be a multiple of 9, which means if I go via the option minus 2, because option is for this, option minus 2 has to be a multiple of 9. 20 minus 2 is 18, so this is possible. 29 minus 2 is 27, possible. 9 minus 2 is 7, not possible. 17 minus 2, 15, not possible. 11 minus 2, 9, possible. Okay. Since they had asked for maximum, I will try with option number 2 first. When I start with the option, only thing I should be careful, at the end, the mother cannot be put more than 5 eggs in the fridge. So if I start with 29, 2 eggs are rotten, so 27 are remaining. Let's go directly for the number of eggs the mother puts in the fridge. 4/9 of 27. How much is 4/9 of 27? 9 3 is 4 upon 9 of 27 is 12. So he takes 12 to the mother's house, out of which the mother cooks 2. So she's still left with 10. She can't put this in the fridge. Therefore, this option is wrong. 20. 2 are rotten, so 18 are left. 4/9 of 18. 8. He takes 8 eggs to mother's house. Mother cooks 2. So 6 are still left. Still more than 5, not your answer. Just for checking purpose, in an exam situation, I should go and mark 11. But just for checking purpose, check with 11. 11 minus 2, 9. 4/9 of 9 is 4. She cooks 2. No problem. And 2 are left over. Possible, less than 5, she can put it in the fridge. While if we had continued solving this equation, we could have still got an answer for t. But there you have to be very careful. You would have got t as in an inequality form. T has to be less than something. Okay, and that can be a problem. You still have to check very carefully. Okay, so if you continue solving this, let me solve this. 2 goes there, so it becomes 7. 9 7 is 63. So 4 into t minus 2 has to be less than or equal to 63. 63 divided by 4 is how much? 15 point something. So t minus 2 is less than 15 point something. 15.75. So plus 2. So t has to be less than 17.75. T has to be, final answer, t has to be less than or equal to 17.75. There's only one option less than 17.75, 11. 17, lot of people mark. This question may lot of people mark 17. But that's not your answer. You have to still remember that multiple of 9 rule. And this sum may, so many people would have made a mistake. They would have done completely algebraically and marked the answer as 17. And that is why sometimes using common sense prevails over doing everything algebraically. Okay. Next question. Heights and distances once more. The topmost point of a perfectly vertically marked pole is A. The pole stands on a flat ground at D. The points B and C are somewhere between A and D on the pole. So there is a pole over here. The topmost point is A. This is D. B and C are somewhere between that. I don't know where is B and where is C. So I'm just holding on to that. From a point P, E located on the ground at a certain distance from D. So E is located at a certain distance from D. Angles made are 60 degrees, 45 degrees, and 30 degrees. So this angle is 60 degrees to A. To B, it is 45 degrees. Sorry. To B, it is 45 degrees. So this is B. And to C, it is 30 degrees. Obviously, the smallest angle is 30 degrees. What is the relation between AB, BC, and CD? You want the final answer as a ratio? Start by taking CD as 1 because most of the options also have CD as 1. And not necessarily, but just because that's one of the things I want. So if this is 1, this is 1, this angle is 30 degrees. So this will be root 3, again using 30-60 theorem as earlier. If this is root 3, this angle is 45. So this much will be root 3. So BC will become root 3 minus 1. You can eliminate a lot of options here only. And now, when I take the full 60 degrees, this will become, AD will become 3. AD becomes 3. So therefore, AB becomes 3 minus root 3. So 3 minus root 3, root 3 minus 1, and 1. That's my answer. Is any of the options matching? Yes, second option is matching. You could start by a lot of other methods. You could start by taking BC as 1 if you're not comfortable. Whichever way you start, you will still get your answer right. Okay. Next question. Pretty interesting question. I'm just going to give you time to read and I want somebody else to tell me the answer. So I am like taking a minute's break so that because on YouTube, you'll are like 10 seconds behind me. So I'm just waiting and you all will let me know. Yes, are we there? Anybody can give me the answer? One, two, three, four, five, six. This is 4. This is 2. And they've asked for this. Nobody's given me the answer, which means people haven't realized the logic yet. It is divisible by all prime numbers less than 15. It is divisible by all prime numbers less than 15. Which means it is divisible by 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Right? It is divisible by all these numbers. even though I don't need something, I'm doing it just for practice. Because it is divisible by both 2 and 5, it has to be divisible by 10. Therefore, this digit has to be 0. I don't need this actually. Mansi, good? Now comes the important part. It is divisible by both 7, 11, and 13. All three, I mean. Now, if you recollect your concepts, and if you've gone through your concepts well, you will know when a number is divisible by 7, 11, 13, it is divisible by 1001 and is always in the form of ABC, ABC. It is always in the form of ABC, ABC. Any number which is divisible by 7, 11, and 13 is always in the form of ABC, ABC, which means the number, if this is 420, this also has to be 420. And this is the number we are talking about. Hence, the answer for this question is the fourth option, which is 4. Remember, any number which is in the form of 7, 11, and any number which is divisible by 7, 11, 13 is always in the form of ABC, ABC. Is that clear? Very simple. So let's go ahead. Find Z if three things are known. It is known that X, Y, Z are all positive integers and 2 more equations are known. Let's see if we can find X and Y from there. Let's take the first equation. They've tried to keep it as difficult as possible, but it wasn't so difficult. So X square minus Y square is 20. Now, if I want X and Y both to be positive and both to be integers, if I write it this way, X plus Y into X minus Y is 20. The only possible breakup for this will be 10 twos are. The only possible breakup for this will be 10 twos are. So X plus Y will be 10. You can think a little bit. You can try 5 fours are. Why not possible? You will realize that you're going to get only, if you take 20 and 1, you will get fractions. If you take 5 and 4, you will get fractions. Anything else you take, you will get fractions. So X plus Y is 10 and X minus Y is 2 is the only thing you can get. 2X is 12, X is 6, Y is 4. Once you got this, just put it over here. Y cube will be 64 minus 2x square will be 2 into 36, 72 minus 4z greater than or equal to negative 12. Bring 12 here, take 4z there. 64 minus 72 plus 12 greater than or equal to 4z. 64 plus 12 is 76. 76 minus 72 is 4. 4 is greater than or equal to 4z. Divide by 4. 1 is greater than or equal to z. Which means z is less than or equal to 1. Mansi, mistake. Z is less than or equal to 1. So the only possible value for z is 1. And I know with what mistake also you made, Mansi. Raha, what did you make? What mistake did you make? Z is less than or equal to 1. So only possible value for Z is 1 because they said positive integer. I think most common mistake which people make over here is when they cut the negative negative, they don't change the sign. So I think Mansi made this mistake. Minus 4Z, she got less than or equal to 4. Minus 4, sorry. She cut the, greater than or equal to. And when she cut the negative, she forgot to change the sign and she wrote it like this, which is incorrect. Okay, let's go ahead. Again, a straightforward question from geometry, nothing really very difficult. 5 and 4 not possible, Ashish, because if you take 5 and 4, you will get fractions. If you take x plus y as 5 and x minus y as 4, you will get x and y as fractions. And they have used the word integers. Rajesh, a courier delivery agent, starts at point A and makes a delivery each at point B, C, D in that order, which means he first goes to B, then to C, and then to D. He travels in a straight line between any two consecutive points. No problem till there. The following points are known. A, B, and C, D intersect at right angle at E. Very good. They have given us a very important information. A, B, and C, D intersect at point E at right angle. So this angle is 90 degrees. What else is known? Some values are known. BC is 1.3. 1.3. Great. Then CE is 0.5. And ED is 2.5. And AD is parallel to BC. AD is parallel to BC. Lovely. These lines are parallel. If lines are parallel, this angles will be equal. And I will be able to use similarity. Triangles will be similar. Okay. So, first of all, can I use Pythagoras and find this EB? 5, 12, 13 is a Pythagoras triplet, which means this will be 1.2. After that, when I use similarity, I don't think so I need to show the similarity, but I'm just writing it. Triangle AED is similar to triangle BEC. And you will notice that everything in this triangle is 5 times of the smaller triangle. This is the smaller triangle. This is the bigger triangle. 5 times. Because 0.5 and 2.5, 5 times. So this is 1.2. So this will become 6. 5 times. Now also people make a mistake. They use Pythagoras. That is not what we want to do. They want to find the total distance from A to D in traveling from A to B. So first he will go A to B. A to B is 7.2. Then B to C, 1.3. And then C to D, which is 3, 3.0. 11.5. Fifth option. I'm sure even after doing everything, somebody will take Pythagoras and try and get this answer. Luckily, that was not in the options. Okay. Mansi, what mistake did you make? A to D, no? A to B, then B to C and C to D. Next one. Just give me a second, huh? Just give me a second, huh? Okay, I'm back there. Let's start. 2 lighthouses, each located at point A and B on the Earth, are 60 and 40 feet tall, respectively. So there is one lighthouse over here. There's one lighthouse over here. One is 60 and this is 40. Each lighthouse is perfectly vertical and land connecting A and B is perfectly flat. So this is, say, A, B, whatever. I'm back there. Let's start. Lighthouses, each located Yeah. So we've got this much, 60 and 40. Now, what have they said? The topmost point of lighthouse A is A dash. So this is A dash and B is B dash. Now, draw line segments A dash B. That is join this line segment here and this line segment here. And let them intersect at C dash. From C dash, drop a perpendicular down to touch the earth at point C. So this is C. Find this, C dash. So for many, many years, I used to call this Amitsar's theorem. You know, it's a standard concept. 1 upon x is 1 upon 60 plus 1 upon 40. This is the property you need to use. It comes from similarity. This is exactly the property. You should not worry about how it comes. Never worry about that. So 1 upon x is 40 plus 60 upon 60 into 40. X is 2400 upon 100. X is 24. Third option. Apply the property and leave. Don't waste your time. That's the whole idea. Don't sit and worry about how this proof came. If this is x, this is y, this is z, next time blindly use it. 1 upon x is equal to 1 upon y plus 1 upon z. Is that clear? Next one. XYZ start a web-based venture together. X invests rupees 2.5 lakh, Y 3.5 lakhs, and Z 4 lakhs. In the first year, the venture makes a profit of 2 lakhs. A part of the profit is shared between Y and Z in the remaining ratio 2:3. And the remaining profit is divided by X, Y, Z in the ratio of their initial investments. Find the amount that Z receives. The amount that Z receives is 4 times the amount that X receives. How much does Y receive? Wow. Lot of things given. Sounds pretty confusing. You know? So first, let's get the ratio. X is investing 2.5. Y is investing 3.5. And Z is investing 2 lakhs. No, Z is investing 4 lakhs. I'm so sorry. So to remove the decimal, multiply everything by 2. So this will become 5, 7, 8. Right? Now, a part of the profit is shared by Y and Z in the ratio 2:3. So some money is taken out of there. Whatever was the total profit, out of that, some money is taken out. And that is shared between A and B in the ratio 2:3. And the remaining profit gets divided by X, Y, Z in the initial ratio of their investments. So whatever is the remaining money, X will still get 5 parts of it, and Z will get 8 parts of it, and so on. The amount that Z receives is 4 times that X receives. Now, very, very important. Now, let's assume at the end, second part. Again, doing the second part first. So, X will receive 5. At that time, Z will receive 8. So, if X receives 5, from the second part of the money, Z will receive 8. But we know that Z has received 4 times of X. So if finally X receives 5, Z will receive 20. I will show 2 methods. This is my method and then the conventional method also. Don't worry. But Z should have got only 8. When X got 5, Z should have got only 8. So where did the remaining 12 come from? It came from the first part. So in the first part, Z got 12. And that time Y and Z had distributed the money in the ratio 2:3. So Y would have got 8. And Y also gets this 7. So finally, X gets 5. 0 plus 5. In the first transaction, X gets nothing. So he gets only 0 plus 5. Y gets 8 plus 7, 15. While Z gets 12 plus 8, 20. Read the question very carefully. How much does Y receive? How much is this total? This is 5, 15, and 20. If you add up, this is 40 parts. If 40 parts is 2 lakh rupees, because the total profit was 2 lakhs. How much is 15 parts? 15 into 2 divided by 40. This is 2 lakhs, remember? So 40, this will be 5,000. 5,015 is 75,000. Did you all get this? Obviously, there can be a traditional method also. This is a much faster method. Let's look at the traditional method. Total profit was 2 lakhs. Let's assume 5x was given away first. 5x was given away first. So, this 5x was distributed between A and B. Y and Z in the ratio 2:3. So, Y would get 2x and Z would get 3x. Okay. And this will be the remaining money, which will then get divided between them in the ratio 5:7:8, which we already did. So, X would get 5:7:8. That will be 20. So, X would get 5 by 12 of 2 lakhs minus 5x, while Z would get 8 by 12 of 2 lakh minus 5x. And Z also gets this 3x. Then there will be 4 times. Pathetic method this will turn out to be. So I would never do this method. Let's try. Just let me try and explain the earlier method one more time to you. Okay. At the end, they were supposed to get 5, 7, 8, which means X will get 5 only. And they have told Z gets 4 times of X, which means Z gets 20. But where does this 20 come from? He should have got only 8. When X got 5, he should have got 8, which means the first part gave him 12. In this part, Y should have got only 7. Y should have got only 7. But when Z got 12, he will get 8. So when X gets 5, finally Y gets 15 and he gets 20. And this is a much, much easier approach to do. Okay, explained it 2 times. I hope you get it. Okay, nice question. Geometry, mensuration. Looks difficult, but is very standard if you know well. You understand well. Now, let's understand this. A rectangular swimming pool is 50 meters long and 25 meters wide. Its depth is always same along its width, but linearly increases along its length from 1 meters to 4 meters. So at one stage, the depth is only 1 meter. And at one stage, the depth is 4 meters. Right? This is how swimming pools are made, no? Swimming pools are generally made like this. Okay, pay attention carefully. Suppose this is 25 and this is 50. Question is, how much water is there in the pool? How much water would be there in the pool if everything was at the same depth? It would be a cuboid. It would be length into breadth into height. It would be length into breadth into height, right? But here, because the height is different every time, I will consider this as my cross section. So the volume will be area of cross section multiplied by whatever this 25, which I will consider as the height. So what will be area of the cross section? This will be a trapezium. Area of the cross section trapezium. So that will be half into sum of the parallel sides. 1 and 4 will be the parallel sides. Half into 1 plus 4 into height of the trapezium will be taken as 50 into 25. This 50 and 25, if you interchange, it hardly matters. So final answer is, this cuts here, 5 into 25 into 25. That is 625 5s are 3125. Important question. This was asked in CAT also some years back. I think 2014 or 15, one of the years they asked the same, very similar question in CAT also. Is that clear? Standard remainder question. What is the remainder if 19 raised to 20 minus 20 raised to 19 is divided by 7? Do two separate questions. Don't try to do anything smart. So 19 raised to 20 divided by 7 will be 19 divided by 7. Remainder is either 5 or it is minus 2. I will prefer taking minus 2. Minus 2 raised to an even number is same as 2 raised to an even number. 2 cube is 8. 8 divided by 7 is 1. I can write this as 2 cube raised to 6 into 2 square divided by 7. 8 divided by 7, remainder is 1. 1 raised to anything is 1. So the final remainder for this part of the question will be 4. Only for this part of the question, it's not over yet. Now let's do the second part. Don't forget the minus sign in between. 20 raised to 19 divided by 7. 21 divided by 7 leaves the remainder minus 1. And minus 1 raised to odd number is minus 1. So final remainder for this question directly in one step is minus 1. 21 divided by 7, remainder is 0. So 20 divided by 7 leaves the remainder minus 1. Minus 1 raised to even number, odd number will be minus 1. So the final remainder for this number is directly minus 1. And the minus 1 helps me also because there's a minus sign in between. So my final answer will be 4 minus minus 1, which will be 5. Next question. I think we're left with 3 or 4 more questions. Okay, there's a diagram given with this question. A pretty interesting question. Pay attention carefully. In the figure given below, the circle has a chord of length 12. So AB is given as 12, which makes an angle of 60 degrees at the center of the circle. So if I'm going to make an angle of 60 degrees at the center of the circle, do you agree that this will become an equilateral triangle? Because if I make 60 degrees, the other two angles are the equal. So it will be 60 degrees. So radius is 12. So I've got in some radius is 12. 12, 12, 12. Okay. Let's go ahead further. As shown, ABCD is a rectangle. Fair enough. So this is also 12. OQ is perpendicular bisector of AB intersecting the chord AB at P, arc AB at M, and CD at Q. So this is OQ intersecting here at P, M, and Q. Right? Perpendicular bisector, they have used the word. So this is perpendicular, and this will be 6 and 6. I don't know whether I'll need all this. I think I'll need, but whatever. We'll see. And something very important is given. OM is equal to MQ. This was very important for me. OM is equal to MQ. If you notice, OM is the radius. So if OM is equal to MQ, both are equal to R, which means both are equal to 12. Let's see what have they asked for. Find the area enclosed by the line segment AQ, QB, and arc BMA. Which means if I shade what they've asked for in a different color, just pay attention. They've asked for this part. Wow. They've asked for what is shaded in the green. Most commonly, people are going to do triangle AQB minus area of segment. That's the most probable thing which they will do. Triangle AQB minus area of segment. But that was going to take a little bit longer. The shorter method was, if you notice very carefully, quadrilateral AOBQ is a kite, and area of a kite is half into D1 into D2. One of the diagonals is 24 and the other diagonal is 12. So area is half into 12 into 24, which is 144. Minus the area of the whole sector, AOB. Again, if you want, I'll just shade it with some other color. This is the whole sector I have to subtract. So area of sector, theta upon 360 into pi into r square, which is 24 pi. So your final answer is 144 minus 24 into 3.14. Let's do that approximately. 24 into 4 is 96, 9 carry, 24 plus 9, 33, 3 carry, 75 point something. 144 minus 75 is, I think, 69 point. So 68 point something. Answer is 69, which is the fourth option. That's the best way to look at this question, or the fastest way to look at this question. Okay. One more interesting question. Let's see how many seconds do you all take to get it. If you're going to do it. I purposely picked this question only from the reason of lot of people kept saying after the CAT paper that we don't remember what is mean and median. Median is the middle value when things are arranged in the ascending or the descending order. A firm pays 5 of its clerks 15,000. So there is 15,000, 15,000, 15, 15, 15. 3 assistants has 40,000. 40,000, 40,000, 40,000. And the accountant 66,000. Only one accountant is there whom they pay 66,000. Then the mean salary in the firm comprising of all these 9 employees exceeds its median salary by how much? Median is 15. I want to find the difference between mean and median. No problem. Most of y'all would have done this. Y'all would have done mean is 15 5s are 75 plus 43s are 120 plus 66 divided by 9. This is what most of y'all would have done. 195 plus 66 is 11. 16, 1, 261. 261 divided by 9. And it will be 9 2s are 18 and 9 9s are. And you get mean as 29,000 and difference is 14,000, which is the first option. As I said, nothing wrong, but I just wanted to be slightly fancy and show one more method. I can clearly make out that the mean is more than 15. How much more is what I wanted to know, right? So the other approach I would have used is let's take all the values only above 15. So these 3 are above 15. Then how much above 15? They are 25 above 15. So I will just take, these are all 0 above 15. So for this I will just take 0. So 25 3s are 75. And how much is this above 15 by 51? So plus 51 and this divided by 9 people. So that's 126 divided by 9. Directly answer is 14,000. I know sometimes it is silly. People think how much time does it take? What's the big deal? I don't know. Maybe that extra 10 seconds gets you one question extra somewhere, something. Right? I think this is the last question for the day. And I picked it up from the logic of people finding bad algebra in CAT. So I said, let us do one more question. And a very common mistake which a lot of people will make in this question. They've told us A and B are integers, so that 5 plus 2 root 7 is one of the roots. So most probably people are going to say if alpha is 5 plus 2 root 7, then beta is 5 minus 2 root 7. This is not correct over here because there is a irrational number here also. A, B, C is irrational. Or C is this value, right? And hence, because it is irrational, this rule does not be valid. This is not valid. So you can't use this. Remember that. And that's the most common mistake that people would have made in this question. So if one of the roots is 5 plus 2 root 7, it is as good as saying x is 5 plus 2 root 7. Just put x as 5 plus 2 root 7. So you will get 5 plus 2 root 7, the whole square, minus a into 5 plus 2 root 7, plus b plus 2 root 7 is equal to 0. So when I put x as 5 plus 2 root 7, I should get 0. Expand this will give me 25 plus 2 5 are 10, 10 to the 20 root 7 plus 4 7 the 28 minus 5a minus 2 root 7a plus b plus 2 root 7 is 0. Okay. Let's see what all do we get. Let's take all the irrational part together. And let's take a and b on the right hand side. So what will I get? 25 plus 28 plus 22 root 7 is 5a minus b plus 2 root 7a. So now you can compare the irrational part with the irrational part and the rational part with the rational part. So you directly get 2 root 7a is equal to 22 root 7. If you solve that, you get a is 11. And second equation, you get 5a minus b is 53. Or have I missed out anything else? No, I don't think so. So b comes out to be 2. If you solve that, you get b is equal to 2, which is the second option. Right. So as I said, that was the last question. I hope today's session helps. We've put down a video on how to crack XAT. You can go through that. If you're an IMS student, you have a lot of things on IMS website, on your portal. Your last 3 years ka video solutions. You have a workshop, XAT workshop. You have a decision-making workshop. You have a blog by Tony Sir today on how to solve decision-making. And a lot of things are there. So please see that you make use of all those things. We are just about 10 minutes above our cutoff time. So we're more or less there. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you learned something from it. And best of luck for that.